What is going on, peoples of the internet? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed. This is Reviewed number 55, and because last week saw the release of the new King Kong reboot, Kong Skull Island, I'm going to be reviewing King Kong from 2005. So, Kong Skull Island came out last week, and like I said in my intro, I wanted to do a review of King Kong from 2005, the one that Peter Jackson directed. Um, so, what did I think of this movie? I recently saw it not too long ago. It's a 3-hour movie. It's 3 hours and 12 minutes to be exact. It's really long, but it's really fun to just watch. It's brutal. It actually stars Jack Black and also has Andy Serkis in it, but does have Jack Black in it. And Naomi Harris, I think I want to say. But the notable person that you see there is Jack Black, and also the guy who played Baron Van Strucker in Age of Ultron. He's that guy is also there, the actor. And Andy Serkis just also plays a guy. Not just he does two things. He motion captures for Kong, which is the ape, and he also does a little character called Slappy or whatever his name is. I don't know, Slumpy. I don't know. But it's set in the 1930s, during the Great Depression. So and you can tell this is a Great Depression because everyone's some people are homeless. People are starving off the little food they have, sue everything, and it's very fashion. The fashion is very the idea of the 30s. So the idea of the movie. I'm not gonna do the plot thing. I've been told by my siblings that I don't need to really summarize the plot of these. So basically it's just this guy. Just to summarize it really fast, it's basically this guy named Carl. All right, I think it's Carl. Yeah, I think it's Carl. Yeah. He's this filmmaker. Sorry, my computer went off. It's this filmmaker, Jack Black, who plays him, and he's wanting to make a picture because he's a filmmaker. He has the old school tripod and camera, the one he crank it to constantly make it film. And so basically he sets out on an expedition to this place he believes exists called Skull Island. He gets this beautiful actress. I can't remember her name either. But he basically gets his crew, including an Andy Serkis guy, and they basically set out to an expedition to go to this unknown island called Skull Island. And they meet the natives there, and they find out that, and then that's the perfect place to film to the location. So that's the basic idea. Is they uncover Kong, which is this giant ape. It's actually not as big as the one in the new movie. It's smaller, but and overall it's an interesting movie. The only parts that were a little gross to me was there were some parts in the movie that were just ugh. And that's the bug. There's a scene where Carl and his crew, they come across this area, so kind of like the scene in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets where Harry and Ron are in the spider place. It's kind of like that, but worse. So there's these giant bugs everywhere. It's just gross. It is I saw it. I'm like, oh god, this is not cool. So basically, they're fighting these bugs, and it's gross to just look at. Oh my god, it's disgusting. But there's giant scorpions, spider creatures. Actually, there's this really gross scene where these worm-like creatures, there's always really gross plump and worming and liquid just moist worm creatures that open up and they have these extra teeth and everything. It's just gross. And so eventually they start fighting them, and Andy Serkis' character, he not only caps Kong, but also he plays his character called Slumpy, I think it is. So eventually he gets caught in their little entrance, and they basically suck him up. It is really gross and just brutal. They suck him up, and they put their mouths over him like this, and they just kind of suck him up. and then they so kind of think of the Doctor Who episode where the New York guy, he gets into the Dalek and becomes the hybrid, kind of like that, but like not as bad. And basically he gets sucked up, and that was the gross part. Is that it was just brutal. There's also really it was a brutal scene where Kong is fighting the T-Rex because there's like two T-Rexes. One of them he actually managed to not only take out its tongue, but also but it was like crack its jaw. It's just brutal. But overall, it was a fun movie to watch. It's very long. It's like 3 hours, but like one of those movies that doesn't really get boring. Well, it kind of does get boring a little bit, but it's not a bad boring. It's like it's pretty good, but overall it was a fun adaptation. I've heard that the new one is set in the 70s, so it's a little different, a new cast. But this movie, Jack Black did a really good job. There's actually dinosaurs in this movie. They find out like, oh, I thought it stinks. No, but the dinosaurs are supposed to be extinct, and they're not extinct apparently in this island they go to, because this island is filled with. Well, also I thought the really kind of creepy element of the movie was when they first came to the island, where they have these natives and they're like covered. They're like these dark skinned natives with all this slime on them. It's just disgusting, and yeah, it's really gross. But the idea of the movie has to do with Naomi Harris's, I think it's Naomi Harris, character going who's this you know I think she's supposed to be a star or something, but she's this beautiful girl who basically has a strong connection with Kong. Sorry, I'm just my ears. They're scratching my eye. And basically she just kind of like connects with him the same way the new one does. So it's a really good movie. It's directed by Peter Jackson, who directed the Lord of the Rings movies, so it kind of has that element. Oh, I don't know how to describe it. It's like this. It's kind of like you're watching a movie and you realize the element of the movie. They kind of like the theme of the movie, or the the way that the movie was filmed. It's the kind of same idea, because it's directed by the same Jackson, but directed by the same director who did Lord of the Rings, which is Peter Jackson, and he did a really good job. And I just love the movie in general was okay. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun, but it was also really gross. There's actually a character, I think his name is Jack, and he's played by Adrian Brody. He's a pretty popular actor. I've only seen him in like maybe one movie, and that's a movie I don't want to talk about because I hate the movie so much. But he's basically this I guess friend of Carl's, who falls in love with the actress. And it's a really interesting movie, especially the scenes where they get attacked by the sea creatures and everything. They're on this boat and they get attacked by this monster, and then like Andy Serkis, like he almost dies all the time, and like there's a time where he's like, you filmed that, yeah, because like he's apparently Carl's is recording footage of one of the guys getting eaten by the monster, and that's just gross. But overall, it's a really good movie. The sad part about the movie is that throughout the movie, Carl's character, he's the filmmaker guy. He's just kind of like, he's making sure the camera doesn't get lost. He's carrying the tripod. Like one of the guys that's holding the tripod, the camera guy, he sacrifices his life to the dinosaurs, to the raptors, and he sacrifices his life for the tripod. So he's like, here the tripod, and then he gets himself killed by the raptors, because apparently raptors can kill you. Apparently, if you're in kind of that era, or if you come to a mysterious island where dinosaurs actually happen to live still after all those years, then I don't know. It's weird. That doesn't really make sense. That's the part that doesn't make sense. How can dinosaurs be on an island that's not even on the map? Like it's supposed to not exist with that. That was the only part of the movie I'm like, wait, what? So I understand the giant ape. That's an okay thing. But dinosaurs, you got the long neck guys, the Finnosaurus, whatever you call it. I can't remember how you say that. If you know what I'm talking about, the one with the long necks, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. I don't want. I could look it up. I don't want to look it up right now. I'm reviewing this movie, so that was a really weird part of the movie that I didn't really understand why the dinosaurs live on this island. I mean, the natives are there, but like these dinosaurs, these with the long necks, and then later you find raptors and two dinosaurs, or two T-Rexes. That doesn't make sense. Where do they come from? They're supposed to be extinct. They are supposed to be extinct. I mean, kind of the same thing with Journey to the Center of the Earth, that movie with Brendan Fraser, where they find a dinosaur at the end of the Earth, at the center of the Earth. That doesn't make sense either. I mean, they don't really have a good reason for them to be there. Like, what was the point? There's no point in having them be there. Like, where do they come from? So it doesn't really. I was only part of the movie. I didn't really understand, but overall, it was just a kind of like the movie kind of centered around Carl, like while they were when they came to the island to like protect the camera and the tripod. I think the tripod ends up getting broken or something, or getting lost or something. But the really sad part that I'm like, what I saw when Carl is looking out, Carl, who is Jack Black's character, is looking out for the camera, making sure it doesn't get broken. And at the very end, like I think it's after they ended when they fall down to the little the bug the little place with the bugs, that really gross to the bug little area, the bug ravine. That was the really gross scene where he wakes up and he finds the camera just broken with the film out and everything. I feel sorry for him. I'm like, aww, because that's like his life, and he just lost all that footage. Besides, well, I mean, of course, besides the King Kong thing, it kind of reminiscent of Frankenstein, or the Frankenstein movie where Dr. Frankenstein brings the monster to the theater. Some kind of idea where later on in the movie they did that. It is a direct remake of the movie, so it's the same. It's basically the same scenes except remade. So you have the classic scene of the movie where Kong is on the Empire State Building, or I think whatever it is he's on, and the fighter planes end up chopping him down and then killing him. That was pretty crazy. But what did I like about the movie? I like the motion capture. I love the character of Carl. He's really fun. He's really fun to watch. But overall, he's just a really fun character. I didn't even realize it had Jack Black in it. And when I saw the movie, before I saw the movie, I'm like, oh my god, it had Jack Black in it. He's awesome because he's an amazing character. He's an amazing character actor. Well, not character actor, but he's like an amazing actor. Because he plays Poe. Kung Fu Panda. I think I probably will do a review on Kung Fu Panda eventually. But overall, in terms of this movie, I mean, it wasn't really well. Apparently wasn't well received, but I liked it. It was a bit long. I mean, it's the standard Peter Jackson movie because so basically, whenever you watch a Peter Jackson movie, you're gonna have to expect it to be like 3 hours or something like that. Just expect anytime you see a Peter Jackson movie, always expect to have at least 3 hours because that's just how he does it. That's how he films movies. So that's just what he does. It's kind of, I wouldn't really call it annoying because I think I think he has made like a movie that's not as long as that, but that's just I guess it's just his nature is he makes long movies. But overall, in terms of the plot was good. I haven't seen the original movie, but I thought it was. I mean, I saw a little clip of it, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good, spot on to the movie. It was disgusting. I thought the only I didn't hate it. The parts that I thought were just there's the whole the parts I didn't like about it were how the dinosaurs came there, like where do they come from, how do they even arrive on the island, like what the fuck. But also the things that I didn't like at all, or I just cringed at, were the bug scene. That was just gross. And when Andy Serkis' character gets sucked up, that's just ugh. I mean, it is just brutal and gross. But also when Kong, I mean, the only thing I didn't understand, another thing about the movie I didn't understand was why Kong didn't put down the girl, I can't remember her name, but put down the girl that was with them. How can you fight two T-Rexes with a girl in your hand? Come on, that doesn't work. But anyway, I think that'll do it for this review. I think that's all I can say about the movie. In general, overall, it's a really good movie. Well, not the best movie. I am looking forward to seeing the new movie. That's why I'm doing a review on it, because the new movie in the MonsterVerse, which is set up for a big fight between Godzilla and Kong, which I mentioned in the Madhouse episode 50, which you should check out. That movie, one of the movies in there was King Kong, and I watched that because I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good movie. I should probably watch it because there's a new one coming out, and there's a difference between the new movie and the old movie. The remake is apparently vastly different because it's set in the 30s. The remake is set in the 30s and the reboot is set in the 70s, so it's a little different. But so yeah, how would I rate it? Because of the weird dinosaur stuff and how they even got there and the bug scene, I hated that scene so much. It was gross to just look at. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I know I don't usually do that, but like, I didn't hate a movie. I hate the movie. It was, eh. I didn't like. I didn't care for the parts that were the giant insect part. Because I mean, imagine if that was you or me, and I was at a pit of a room with a giant insects. It would be terrifying for me. Because like they had like giant scorpions, giant spider thingies, just overall really gross, and they get all of the characters, and it's just gross. But I kind of, I mean, the one thing that I thought was a little weird, was a little interesting, was there's this relationship between Jack and the girl's name. I can't remember her name. Which is exactly reminiscent of Jack and Rosie's, or I think Rosie, I don't know. From Titanic. It's exactly the same because they're on a ship and they fall in love. I think that's pretty good, honestly. Also, I think that Carl's character is on the run in this movie, so he can is is a wanted man. So overall, it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it, but it was Peter Jackson. He does a good job with the movie. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this review. Hope you liked it. If you did like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Maybe share this with a friend if you thought like, oh, cool, King of Conquer review. So check this review out when you give it a chance to. And yeah, I think they'll do it. This has been King Kong. If you click to your right here, you can go to last week's episode where I reviewed Zootopia, which is a fun movie. And you can click right here to go to a playlist, which I will do every time because so it's nice to have a playlist. And that'll be every episode up to now, which is all 55 episodes so far. And of course, subscribe right here. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next review. Alright, see ya.